an inmate at Sacramento County Jail. To accept this call, press or say 5. To refuse this call will be recorded and subject to monitoring at any time. Thank you for using IC Solutions. You may begin speaking now.
Cantwell.
Hey, my friend, how are you?
Hey, man, how's it going? A little better, hopefully?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good, man. You know, being, back in New Hampshire, got this fucking felony shit off of my head. I'm feeling pretty good, man.
Yeah, man, I bet. I'm happy for you, man. I heard about a month ago or so that they finally let you cut you loose, so
Yeah.
That's good news, man. I heard the bad news. I read an article in the paper the day before yesterday about, I guess, 4 guys from some group Rise Above movement out here that got, I guess, indicted. Did the feds pick them up? I'm not sure.
Yeah, they got charged with like interstate travel to participate in a riot for their role in Charlottesville, but other things that they had been involved into had made them of interest to the feds. They've apparently been in stuff in a couple of different states, and so FBI charged them with violations of the Riots Act and conspiracy to violate provisions of the Riots Act is where they're at. Yeah.
That's crazy, though. I mean, I know it said something about they were maybe out of Berkeley and Huntington Beach, Berkeley, and then all the way in Virginia. But I've never heard of a charge like that. You know, people travel to D.C. to protest, and they're acting like once again like we started it or something. You know?
Well, you know what's funny about it is like, there's this big controversy because I spoke to the FBI while I was still in Virginia, right? And what I fucking went there to fucking talk to them about is the goddamn Reds. Like, we've done a lot of fucking research on these people. We know who they are. We know crimes that they've committed. And like, like, I'm not surprised if like we go places and we get in fights and then the federal government wants to charge us with crimes, right? Like, this doesn't necessarily shock me. What's fucking driving me crazy is they're not like, you could absolutely charge any number of communists with exactly the same as these guys got charged with and worse. And they just haven't seen fit to do so, right? And that's what really scares me about it more than anything else. It's like, they're taking side.
In jail or something?
What's that?
DeAndre Harris, the flamethrower got weekends in jail.
That guy, that wasn't DeAndre Harris. That was Corey Long. But yeah, he got fucking. I think they convicted him of disorderly conduct or some shit for trying to set people on fire with a fucking flamethrower. And they said, yeah, you got to do what, 10 days in jail, and you can do it on the weekends. It's the most ridiculous fucking thing in the world. Meanwhile, Jacob Goodwin kicks a guy twice, gets a fucking decade. These people are insane. But like, even at that, that's the local authorities, right? Like, I'm like, okay, the communists run Charlottesville. I understand, right?
The Commonwealth of Virginia.
Yeah. Like, I had this, there's a guy, when I was walking to the park on August 12th there, some fucking asshole came up, maced me out of nowhere, just completely unprovoked. I never even saw it coming, right? And I identified the guy who did this to me, and I gave him up to the FBI. FBI didn't do nothing. I brought it to the Charlottesville police. Charlottesville police called me fucking like less than 10 days before the 1-year mark of the thing and said, oh, well, we'll only charge him with a misdemeanor and you got to come here to do it, but you've been exiled from the state as a result of your plea bargain and we're not going to extradite him and all this shit. Guy did the same thing to me that I got charged with a 20-year felony for, and it's just completely lopsided, one-sided enforcement of the thing, which I expect in Charlottesville. The fucking federal government to be doing this stuff is scary.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, it's nuts, man. So I went to trial on the 4th yesterday. Or not trial, court rather.
Oh, I was going to say.
They pushed my trial off till possibly January. They scheduled it for December, but the courts go on vacation too for Christmas and the holidays and whatnot, so I'm sure they're going to find good cause. The reason why they didn't have it the end of the month was good cause found for the so-called victim, the Trantifa Al Summers. I still don't know if it's a male or a woman or a boy to girl or a girl to boy, transition, whatever, but for a surgery. So I wonder what kind of surgery that may be.
Jesus.
And they need a whole month to heal from some major surgery. So they pretty much wrote off November and scheduled it for December. But, you know, with the holidays, I'm probably going to be looking at January now for trials, so I'm going to be sitting here another few months. So really no updates from
Jesus
behind the Iron
Christ.
Curtain.
And you're going to be in there. Wait, when did they take you into custody there?
Let's see. I got taken into custody on the warrant out of Sacramento County in June of 2017, so I've been in custody 15 months now.
You got taken into custody
County.
June of 2017, and they're talking about putting you on trial in December or January.
Yeah, it would be going on over a year and a half, almost 2 years. I mean, I could be here till fucking June of 2019, you know? Who knows?
How sick.
I've been doing like a limited time waiver, and I chose not to do that, so I enacted my speedy trial, which is why it's now December 4th. I had court on Thursday, which was October 4th. So I enacted my speedy trial, then they have 0 to 10 for, you know, there whatever reasons the court could be, you know, backed up that week, and you know, they only have like a 10-day grace period. But then the courts can just keep finding good cause, and as of right now, the good cause is my so-called victim, as of right now, is having some major surgery in the middle of this month, and is going to need a month of recovery. So I'm assuming they had to produce like a doctor's note, probably forged it. You know, they got an attorney coming all the way from Michigan for the 3 people charged on the Antifa BAM side here, which attorneys practicing out of state, they have to be represented like pro vice. It's like a way for them to practice law in a state that they're not barred in.
Yeah.
So they have their own attorney coming from, you know, some law school in Michigan or the University of Michigan or whatever, representing them all the way from out there. Then they have a local attorney. So I'm sure they have people that can, you know, postpone, you know, they're willing to, you know, basically lie for them. That's all they're fucking good at, is lying. So that's basically where I'm at right now, man. You know, trial's scheduled for December 4th, but because of the holidays, I'm not counting on it happening. And I asked my attorney, you know, please have me before my jury before the holidays. I want to have a chance of being at home this year for Christmas, but it doesn't look like that's happening. And then I found out about the 4 new arrests, and those guys are all from Southern California, so I wanted to call and just, you know, see if you heard any news on that.
Yeah, I don't know anything about these guys other than what I've read in the media. So I can't speak intelligently to what all they've been doing. I had Hunter Wallace on a prior episode of Radical Agenda, and apparently he's a little bit more familiar with them. I mean, you know, they basically emerged, you know, like a lot of people, as a response to the fucking left-wing violence going after the MAGA guys, right? And so apparently they're like, oh, these Reds think they're gonna fucking fuck people up. We'll show up and you know, and see how they like fighting with us, right? And you know, and so, of course, anybody who stands up to communism these days is a terrorist, and thus they find
it
themselves
makes me
in a
wonder
spot.
how many of these, you know, leftists and commies are, you know, pushing the issue and trying to get people picked up on new charges, you know, because I got picked up a year after the rally turned into a riot because of them, and now a year later after Charlottesville, they're picking up guys still up out there. So it really makes me wonder.
Oh, yeah.
Know?
Oh, this is what they do. I mean, you got Sean King and all his fucking assholes, right? They go through videos and then they start trying to identify people. It's like, you know, and the social media thing has gotten so bad, right? They're just out there using fucking Twitter as a platform to dox people to try to get them arrested. And, you know, and if you do so much as fucking, you know, post a photo of a fucking leftist who doesn't want to be identified, they'll ban you from social media. I mean, it's insane how far this has come, that they just, you know, there's no, they're doing everything in their power to make things as difficult for us. They have every center of power helping them, and we are being silenced and shut out of the financial system and prosecuted.
Even like with the Supreme Court justice that's up for nomination, the lady, the accuser or whatever, didn't want to come out at first, and then when the committee didn't, you know, say, all right, we give up, we're going to put someone else and try to get them on the Supreme Court, then it's like every accusation got just a little bit more extreme. You know, the first one was the guy was drunk at a party, you know, tried to get me to have sex with him, started to take off my clothes, and I said no, and then he left stumbling down the hallway with his buddy laughing or whatever. And then the next one was, well, he exposed himself, and then that still didn't work. And then the third one is the guys, they ran, you know, a bunch of guys at a party got a bunch of girls drunk and and raped him or
Right,
raped him.
exactly. It went from he tried to fuck me at a party to he showed me his dick to fucking he's part of a gang rape gang, you know.
Right, it just went to the most extreme scenario, and I mean, shit like that happens, I'm sure, these days. But I mean, it's just like that right there was the biggest red flag about it. And I mean, you know, these people are capable of lying to, you know, prevent someone, especially a conservative Christian, on the Supreme Court. But these leftists are nuts, man. They lie. And
they're very dangerous, and they've got, you know, it's amazing that what I've been watching is just like, you know, with the Supreme Court, nobody believes this stuff. You know, it's not like anybody actually is fooled by any of this. All the people who are doing this stuff are like, I'm going to believe the lie because it's politically advantageous. And I believe that you have probably a lot of the same thing going on with a lot of these prosecutions. I mean, who doesn't know? I mean, it's one thing, you know, in August of 2017, it was one thing if you didn't know who Antifa was. But ever since then, you know, they were given a license to riot, and ever since, they've been literally fucking going and engaging in violence literally every fucking weekend ever since. And who the fuck doesn't know it at this point? Well, everybody knows it, but prosecutors are willing to pretend that these people are freedom fighters because they perceive it as politically advantageous because everybody wants to go on board with the comfortable, you know, lie. And so it's really troubling to watch. It's really blackpilling.
Yeah, you know, my so-called victim wasn't cooperating. It didn't even make a statement as far as I know. At least I don't have any discovery on it, and that's what I was told. I'm pretty sure they were actually in the courtroom on Thursday, and one of the people, why I noticed is one person was ducking behind one of the seats in the middle of the courtroom. Like, why would someone be ducking, like peeking over like they didn't want their face to be seen? And the person sitting next to him slightly resembled the person that I'm here for. And I'm just thinking, and they're sitting there kind of like with a smile on their face, like, you know, like, wow, what the fuck? And did they have to bring a doctor's note? I guess that's the question that begs to be answered is, you know, they're pushing off my trial now. And is that because they don't want to cooperate and they got subpoenaed and they're not trying to, you know, but what do they think they're going to do? They're not going to throw the case out.
Well, and of course, if your theory is right that you're dealing with a fucking here, you know they have an unscrupulous doctor, right? I mean, they're like, yeah, this is a perfectly legitimate medical condition that my client fucking thinks he's the opposite sex. And so whatever I can do that will help you with your court lie, we'll just further that too, you know?
Well, as far as I know, the state of California, the DMV will pretty much assign your gender whatever you identify as. So I don't even think, you know, they had done anything short of a birth certificate, they would even know. But, you know, I told my attorneys for shits and giggles, I want you to ask, you know, Alice Summers. I refuse to refer to him as Alice Summers. If they were born with a male or female genitalia on the stand, you know, I want that question asked during my jury trial. But, I mean, I'll know, I think, by the time they're up on the stand, you know, they'll have Adam's apple or something will look funny or off. But then again, you never know. This surgery that they're having this month, it could very well be like a sex change surgery. So, yeah I don't know, man. It's crazy. It's nuts.
The hell of a fucking thing sitting in jail for 2 Christmases not knowing the fucking gender of your fucking accuser, huh?
Right. Yeah, the right to face your accuser, you know. Yeah.
Christ.
Yeah, so that's about where I stand, man. I just wanted to give you a brief update and talk to you. I've talked to Parrott a couple times. I know he's, you know, I've been trying to, you know, talk to people and still get support for the guys out there. I'm not too worried. I got people out here pulling for me, and, you know, people have already done a lot, so I'm just trying to get the word out there and keep people updated. So
yeah, no, I'm glad you did. What do you call you want me to publish a recording of this call?
Yeah, you can. You always can, man.
Okay. Anything specific information that you want to get out there? I mean, I think I have a mailing address for you in a prior thing and ways for people to send money, but you want to detail that in the recording?
So my PayPal is freewillp719@gmail. You know, that goes directly to an account that's only for legal funds, but people can always look me up on the Sacramento Jail website. My first and last name is William Planner, and I think the X reference number might matter. It's 369-6365, and you can email, you know, drop a line, and I can get further information out that way. But other than that, man, I'm hanging in there. Yeah, I hope those guys in Charlottesville, if they end up having to go to prison, man, I hope their road's not too rough for them. It's Virginia, and there's
Yeah,
only a couple prisons out there.
there ain't no if about that at this point. I mean, they sentenced Goodwin and Ramos. Ramos got 6. Goodwin got 10. I think he got a couple of years suspended or something.
Yeah.
Borden was supposed to be sentenced the other day. They postponed his. He had pleaded no contest to malicious wounding, and so he faces up to 20 years at the judge's discretion, and his actual sentencing was put off. I think actually until December or January.
Daniel Borden was supposed to have his sentencing like on the 3rd, right?
Yeah, it was just recently. Within the last couple of days, he had a court date where he was supposed to be sentenced, but they asked
pushed it off to.
Yeah, they asked to adjourn that, and they put that off until I think December or January.
I was thinking they were gonna cut him loose. He's younger and his sentencing was separate. So I was thinking that the judge was going to suspend his sentence and cut him loose. That's what I was hoping for. But yeah, I just want to send my regards to those guys, man, and tell people, support those youngsters out there, man. I got most of the support that I need. So, but it always helps to hear a line from people, that I'm not forgotten. I did hear from a few people that I think just listening on your show. And then a few people were able to send money to my from my account here for food and stuff like that.
Right.
That helps too. I'm just trying to light some fire under my attorney's ass and get them paid off so all these delays will stop. But that's not what it is, man. If anything, it's the DA that's dragging it out, slow playing me in court. So.
Well, it's one of these things. I'm not surprised that they do that, right? Especially if you said that this asshole has not been cooperative. They're like, let's hold him as long as we could possibly get away with to punish him in case we don't get a guilty verdict, And that's their fucking routine with this stuff.
I didn't think the person was cooperating or they even were able to locate him. So apparently they were able to serve the subpoena. That for all I knew, this person was hopping trains and protesting the Keystone Pipeline in South Dakota or something, But, so
wow.
They're showing up to court now. I'm pretty sure that's who it was in the courtroom on Thursday. Sitting there snickering at me. I'm like, wow, this is insane. Like I said, they were protesting in front of the jail like 6 months in last year. And it's unreal, dude, to sit there and listen out your window while these people's rights are protected and they're sitting here protesting in front of the jail. And you're sitting in here because your First Amendment was shit on and you were attacked and now you're being charged with defending yourself. It's insane.
Christ, man.
Yeah. But, hopefully I get a jury, get a fair hearing, and get an acquittal, and then, we'll go from there. Definitely going to look into some civil action if I get acquitted.
If you, if in the event that you are not acquitted, if you are found guilty, how much time do you face?
Up to 10 years, I'm assuming.
Up to 10?
I don't think any more than that. But,
okay.
Which is why I'm just blown away at the sentences those youngsters got out there. First offense, they're looking at 6 to 10 years.
Yeah.
I don't know how it works if you have to do half the time or if they suspend a few years, if they still have to do the full amount of the remainder. But that's a lot of time for a first offense, considering the circumstances that they were attacked and, they definitely shouldn't be on their way to prison right now upstate. They should have been looking at probation at the very worst if the details and circumstances of their case really showed that there was excessive use of force, which I didn't even see the video, so I don't know. But they took it to trial, and that should say something right there. They believe in their innocence. I know 100% I'm not guilty.
Yeah.
So I'm really hoping for an acquittal. It's looking good. I'm optimistic. My legal team's optimistic. And if I do get an acquittal, that'll be a win for us. We'll go into civil action from there, and
1 minute remaining.
It won't set the precedent that white folks aren't able to, assemble publicly and address their grievances and advocate for their community. And if people want to continue to see us, standing up for the leftists and Antifa and demanding our First Amendment, then they do need to show some more support for sure, because not everyone was just showing up for picture day, man.
Yeah.
I really hope that people are supporting those guys out there in Charlottesville, and any support that I receive is appreciated. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you,
gonna
man.
cut us off here, man. So
Yeah,
I want to say goodbye before we
I
get cut off.
appreciate you chiming in. Anytime you need to get anything out there, you let me know. And
When I'm in the middle of trial, I've been holding off on calling back. I wanted to be in the middle of trial. I'll definitely call you when trial's getting started or in the middle of it. All right, brother?
All right, thank you, pal. All right, I'll get this out there today.
All right, Cantwell, take care, man.
Take care, pal. Bye.